All right, I was looking at your profile. Very impressive, first of all. You've been into a very different field, and you're helping businessmen, business owners these days, right?
Yes, yes. Well, a range of people. Obviously, with my background
Mm.
from coming from performing arts,
Mm.
I also work with quite a few people from that area.
Mm.
Needless to say, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and how long have you been into coaching, like business, and it's more of a business coaching, right? Not life coaching, if I'm understanding correctly.
It's more of life coach. Actually, it's more life coaching. To be honest with you, it's about. I don't set myself up as an expert in business issues. However, coaching is coaching, and if there are such issues to be talked about, then that I can deal with that too. But I purposely have not. I don't advertise myself as a business coach because that might give a
Mhm.
mistaken impression of how I work.
Right, right. That makes sense. Yeah, because
Mm.
so if I understand your approach correctly, a business is always run by a business person, right? A business owner. So you work on the business owner more than the business.
That's correct. That's right. Which is why I call myself a performance coach rather than a business coach or a life coach. It's about
Yes.
personal performance and personal achievement. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes complete sense to me. Very nice. So how do you do it when, let's say, somebody joins you as a client? What happens next? Do you take them through a program, or do you do one-on-one session based on the client needs? How does it work?
I do work with people one on one. I don't have a group program although it's been suggested to me that I should put a group program into place. I haven't done so because I prefer to work on one with people. So if someone comes to me, I would always start with a normal consultation, which I call a strategy session,
All right.
where we go over the person's issues, or I get to a little bit of a feel for
Hmm.
what they need and what they want, and they get a feel for me and how I work and my personality and so.
Right.
And if during that strategy session I manage to create uh, trust,
Mhm.
then we take it to the next step, and
Hmm.
then I suggest
Okay.
a coaching relationship.
Okay. Okay. And the next step is usually a program, or again, it is like an engagement on a session by session basis.
Uh, I I have three different programs that I suggest
Hmm.
as options, depending on how the conversation goes.
Right.
That being said, I try to create a program which is correct for the person in question. And they're not, they're always very individual, but usually I have three
Hmm.
standard programs on my website just to
Okay.
indicate that
Hmm.
there are options.
Right.
One which is an intense program which goes weekly sessions over 6 weeks, six
Hmm.
weekly sessions,
Hmm.
which I call which is an intense program. Then I have another program which is also 6 sessions, but spread over 3 to 4 months, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
A little bit longer sessions with a little bit more time to reflect and so on.
Hmm.
And then I have a third program which I suggest, if that's appropriate, which is monthly sessions over an unspecified period of time. That might be 3, 6, 9, or 12
Hmm.
months.
Hmm. 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 Okay. That makes sense. Complete sense. Very, very nice. Absolutely. Yeah. And what is your opinion about making coaching and mental health, more accessible to the to everyone across the world? And I was.
Well, I think,
Hmm. Hmm.
yes, sorry, please
Please,
go
sorry,
on.
please go on, go on, go on.
Well, how to make it more, I think it's an excellent thing. And I think the whole idea of coaching
Hmm.
is something which is slowly uh, coming into awareness in our society.
Hmm.
But it's still something which is not entirely, well, I can't say trusted because it's trusted, but it's not entirely taken seriously because it's not quite seen as a as a proper intervention when it comes to mental health.
Hmm. Hmm. So I'm curious. Before even we enter into that area of the conversation, the first thing, Mads, which when we say there is a need to make mental health and coaching accessible to everyone across the world, the first thing that I would love to understand from you is how aligned do you see yourself with this statement in the first place? Because there is an underlying belief in this statement itself, and the belief is that right now it is not so accessible. Would you agree with that?
Right. Well, I certainly try to make myself as accessible as possible. But
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, when asked about what is the difference between coaching and therapy, I usually use the standard definition of saying to people that, if you seek out therapy, it's about taking a person from being dysfunctional to becoming functional, whilst coaching is to take a person from being functional to excellence or increased functioning or whatever the objective might be. That's how I try to define coaching. And sometimes I also say that coaching is a way of understanding coaching is that you could say that it's assisted problem solving.
Oh yeah. 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 And I'm taking notes as you speak. Okay. Assisted problem solving.
And of course, coaching is whatever the client makes out of it. That's a harder concept to communicate, but ultimately, of course, that is true. That coaching is only as good as the client is him or herself. Not meaning that the coach mustn't also be excellent at his or her service. But of course, the effect of coaching will stand in direct relation to how the client engages with the process.
All right. Absolutely. That makes sense. So do you feel a gap between people who need coaching, maybe they know they need coaching, and their access to the expert minds, really? Because that's something that we are wanting to address here. Are people getting access to the right expert minds when they need it? And we are talking about a global view here, not just UK.
Well, I would like to say that access to coaching is not really a problem. There are a lot of coaches around, too many probably.
Okay.
Coaching has become something of a cottage industry, and the bar for entry into the profession is very low. And I think that so access to coaching. Yes, I think the access is there. It's the awareness of what coaching is not always there. So I think there are probably more excellent coaches out there than we think, and giving the chance. The problem is, though, that coaching is another standard line that I often use when I speak about coaching, is that coaching is not something that no one needs. Coaching is something that you want, and if you want coaching, then you will benefit from it. It's not because if you need coaching, you probably need something else. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make complete sense. Maybe as you said, in terms of mental health, in case of a mental health scenario, maybe you need a therapy more than coaching.
Yes.
When you need it.
When you need coaching, it's possibly therapy that is more appropriate. Who knows?
That makes complete sense. Yeah. No worries. So my question to you would be, Matz, when as a professional coach, when you are actually working on ground in this field, what are some of the challenges or roadblocks that you face, that you have faced in the past, or that you see as on date, that prevent this kind of expertise from reaching as many people as it should? Is it awareness, understanding, or is it more than that?
Um, an awareness of the potential of coaching. I wish that was more widely understood.
I'm sure you serve people from everywhere in the world, right?
I have some international clients at the moment in Europe. I have worked with someone in New Zealand. Actually, I do have a client in New Zealand as well at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I mean. I get to talk to so many coaches across the world, Matz, and the ones who are really struggling are the ones who are who are not very open to this kind of online coaching and serving people from everywhere. So they were doing more local, and when this pandemic happened, they were taken aback, by surprise, and it was a bit of a challenge for them. But yes, if you are open to serving people globally, and you are positioning yourself that way, then it is just a matter of a couple of months and you'll be back. I understand people's priorities have changed. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to run my business online like this anyway. That was always my intention. So in that respect, nothing has changed for me. I mean, it's nice to have some personal, one-on-one, face-to-face relationship as well. Of course, it's nice.
Right.
But if I could run my business like this all the time, I'd be perfectly happy.
People who are open to serving international clients, point number one. People who are open to tweaking their business models are doing better. I mean, one last question from the perspective of the book, Matz, and then I'll have one more request for you.
Yeah.
The question is, if you had a magic wand to wave, and that's a favorite question of life coaches, I know.
Yeah.
If you had a magic wand to wave, what one change would you like to see in the world? I know you mentioned about awareness, but I would love to know if there's anything more than that. What one change would you like to see so that the benefits of coaching could reach everybody who needs it?
If I had a magic wand, is that the whole awareness of that coaching became more of a natural inclusion and in professional development from, for instance, HR departments in companies and so on at certain levels in the corporate world. They do provide coaching to their staff and so on, but I think in other employment situations, coaching is not necessarily made available to staff and in career transition and so on. So if coaching was more accepted as a career development tool, then I think we would see more uptake of coaching and more awareness of coaching coming into the world at large.
Absolutely, you made a very good point. Yes, it is only in the corporates that coaching. I don't know if you really mean coaching or you mean training as well. If you include that into the coaching umbrella.
No, I mean coaching.
You mean coaching? Okay. Then the point that you raised is even more important, because there are very few organizations where coaching is actually available as an option, as a tool. They do give, even with corporates. I used to be with corporates at one point in time, Matz, with big ones, Motorola, Nokia, Ericsson, and I could never see coaching as an option, as a tool in these companies, big ones. It was always training by a corporate, a big trainer who would give you some trainings on team building or maybe service delivery and whatnot. But there was never ever anything called coach. In fact, I was not even aware that there was anything called coaching in this world beyond sports coaching. So yeah, I mean, this is not available in most organizations. So your point becomes even more important and relevant.
Fundamentally, I think coaching is about taking a person from this point to that point, whatever that might be, or from that and there, or there and there, whatever. It's to take a person from a certain position to a different position, which is better.
Right.
And I suppose you could argue that whatever you do in order to achieve that is immaterial. The objective is to help the person move from one point to another point. Absolutely. And if you can do that, then it doesn't matter what techniques and what you call it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. This is making sense. Complete sense. Great. Great, Matz. Thank you very much for your time and for these valuable insights. I've taken a lot of notes as you were speaking, and we would love to have these included in the book.
Thank you. I've enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you very much, Matz. Such a pleasure. Take care.